What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Ashley, and I'm back with another video. I just wanted to jump on here today and talk about something really quick. I literally just got done dropping my kids off at school, so I was like, let me go ahead on and make this video while it's fresh on my mind, while I'm thinking about it. But anyway, so I know a lot of you have heard. I've even said it. I know you've heard a lot of people say that elevation requires separation. And a lot of people who say it, they never really elaborate on it. They never really go into details about what they mean by that. Because you have some people who think, okay, well, I need to just quit talking to all my friends and I need to just leave my family alone and just move away and just start a whole new life. And, it doesn't necessarily mean that. When it says, okay, let's give you a prime example of what that means, what it really literally means. Say you're doing something and you know for a fact it's causing you to not be able to go to the next level, or it's holding you back. You know this for a fact that this certain thing is holding you back. Say it's a job. And say you're at a job and you're comfortable. You're able to go in late. They don't really trip. You make pretty good money. You ain't tripping about the money. But in your head, but in the inside, you're kind of stagnant. You're kind of sick of it, but you don't want to let go because you feel like, okay, well, maybe they'll move me up at this job. I'm gonna give them a chance to move me up. They'll probably start paying me more. They say they're gonna give me a raise, but in the back of your head, you know that you need to let that job go. You're scared to let the job go because you know that you may have to, when you leave that job, you may end up having to, until you get to the job that you want, you may end up having to get a job that's even making less than what you're making at that job. But you're scared to let go because you're comfortable. That's a prime example of elevation requires separation. You have to separate from what you're used to and what you're so comfortable with doing, because it's taken away from you. So you have to pull away from that. You have to, okay, you know what? I'm going to leave this job. I'm going to put my 2 weeks notice in and I'm going to let whatever happens. You know what I'm saying? And and I'm gonna just keep praying and keep my faith, because I know God got me and I know he got something better out there for me, and I'm gonna just be patient and wait until he bring it to me. But a lot of times he's not gonna bring it to you because he knows that you're not willing to let that go. And when you're not willing to let that go, that's letting him know that you don't have the faith. And I'm not saying it doesn't work like that for everybody, or it does work like that for everybody, but that's what the whole gist of separation, elevation requires separation means. I'm gonna use myself as a prime example. So when I first became a nurse, I was working in nursing homes for the first half of my nursing career. And I wanted to do something different. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I just know I wanted to do something different. I was like, man, I just want to get into the management side of nursing. I want to work like for an insurance company behind the desk type stuff. I know they have jobs like that for nurses, but I was so comfortable with working at a nursing home and I was making pretty good money, So I was like, well, I don't know what to do. I don't know. I can go apply for these jobs, but they probably won't hire me, So one day I just got tired. I quit the nursing home and I just took my resume and I drove around. So I found this doctor's office and I asked her, were they hiring? She was like, what do you do? I said, well, I'm a nurse, but I don't want to do nursing. Do y'all have any type of administrative positions? She said, well, we do have a front office position that you could do. She said, it doesn't pay much. And when I tell you I took an almost $10 pay cut, but I felt like in my heart, if I can do this will put me in a position to get the job that I want, because I'm doing administrative work. So that's what I want to do in nursing. So I was willing to sacrifice, and I separated from what I was used to. I took this job making way less. And then I think I stayed at that job and I learned so much at that job. I met a friend that I'm still friends with right now. Like, I learned a whole lot at that job. even though I was making way less, I felt like I was doing so good at that time. Like I was straight. I wasn't struggling. Like in the midst of it all, he kept me. I was good. I was really good. So, and I had a lot going on, but he still kept me. I still was good. So a few months later, I got a call for to work at an insurance company, doing what I wanted to do, because I never really realized what I wanted to do, but it was doing what I wanted to do. And I ended up making almost, I was making way more than I was making at the nursing home. So I almost tripled my pay from working at their doctor's office to doing the insurance company. So that is a prime example of elevation requires separation. You have to put yourself in a position to win. Also, as far as when it comes to, okay, like me, I'm using myself as an example because I can actually see the things happening. For me, I was at one church all my life, years, was a member at that church. Never thought I would ever join another church because I'm like, nah, I'm not leaving my church. I love my pastor. He's the best pastor around. He's very studious, and I'm very into the word. So the fact that he's studious, that really just was like, I'm not going anywhere because nobody else knows the word like he knows the word. So where I'm going, But I ended up joining another church. Now, I started going to that church during the pandemic because my church actually closed down. And I actually liked the vibe of the church, the family oriented, the whole vibe, the whole church in general. It wasn't just the pastor, it was the whole church. And for some reason, I felt like I belonged there. It's like God was calling me to go there. So I started going to the church last year, January, I think. And by March or April, I had a dream. And at this time, I would have my dream. God would speak to me while I was waking up out of my sleep. That's when he would speak to me. And it was the picture of the church, and it was the choir, and they were singing, and it was just a big word. Sorry about that. But yeah, so it was like, I was waking up out of my sleep, and while I was dreaming, it's like he speaks to me while I'm getting ready to wake up. Right when I'm getting ready to wake up, that's when God does his talking to me. That's really when I hear it, or I get these visions and stuff. So I had a vision that day while I was getting ready to wake up, and it was a picture of the choir. And in the vision, it was a big word, confirmation, in the church. So they let me know I needed to be there. Now, I felt like, well, I don't want to join this church because the church I go to, they're so seasoned. My pastor is seasoned. He's very good with the word. Like, he's really deep into the word. I'm like, I don't want to leave. And plus, that's my church family. I've been knowing them. So I'm wrestling with God with this for the longest, y'all. I even had somebody come up to me one day. She was like, when are you going to join the church? I'm like, I don't know. I'm waiting on my husband. I threw that out there. So, I don't know. The first of the year, something just came over me. I went to church and I just joined. And ever since I've joined the church, I had a sense of peace just rush over me. And because that required me, I had to separate from that in order to elevate, in order for God to put me on the next level. I already know what he want me to do. I'm finna work at this church. I'm finna do a whole lot of stuff. I already know he's finna have me doing a lot at this church. This church is a growing church, so I'll be there in the midst of it growing. I didn't want to do that because I felt like I just want to stay where I'm at. I'm comfortable. I want to be around these older people. They're seasoned. I want to learn more. But no, he was like, you ready. I want you to be here. This is where I want you to be. And I'm so into the word of God. Like, y'all, I can talk about the word. Like, it does something to me. It's something in me when it comes to the word. So I know he want me to bring that passion to the church. So that's where I'm at. I know that's where I'm supposed to be. So he's bringing me to another level. Also, I didn't necessarily have to separate myself from different people. Like, I'm not saying nobody was bad or I was too good. sometimes you just have to pull away from certain people and certain things because the conversations are not what it's supposed to be. And it's not that that person was bad. We're both not good for each other. So I had to separate from some people, you know, and no love is lost, y'all. Nothing like that. But that's it. It's not like I had to. And I feel like since I've actually done it and I've actually was able to do that, that's going to put me on the next level. I believe that. I have faith enough to believe it because he's done it for me before. So that's what that means. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to put yourself in a bubble and just quit talking to everybody, or put yourself in this on this pedestal and feel like you're better than everybody because you're changing your life. It's not like that. That's not what he means. You know what you need to separate from. You know what people you need to separate from. It's not you know what's pulling you back. And you may even be pulling somebody else back. He wants you to leave that person alone or quit talking to this friend because you're slowing their process down. And then later on, y'all can come back and reconnect. Or you may not ever reconnect. Whatever God wants you to do, you pray and ask him to lead you and give you a purpose. I promise you, if you pray and ask God to lead you, and you give him a purpose, you separate from the things that you know you need to separate from, he will elevate you, because that's showing, okay, you showing that you have faith. So that's what that means. So don't get it twisted and feel like you have to just drop everybody or take away. No, but you do have to get your mindset in a different place. You do have to stop doing things that was holding you back. And sometimes they may require you to quit hanging around certain people, but it doesn't mean you have to disown these people or not talk to these people anymore for the rest of your life, or feel like you're better than these people because you finally realize you want to get yourself together or you want to elevate. That's not what it means. So, because in fact, if you're God's people, you're supposed to be the light. You're the salt of the earth. So in order to be the light, you have to be around you. I'm not saying you want to be around people so you can show them that you are the light, so they can ask you, hey, how you're glowing like that? Like, why you're so happy? How you're being blessed like that? Tell me what's going on with you. How you're going through all this stuff and you're still happy? How is that possible? How do you have this peace and you got all this going on? Or how are you able to do this and manifest these things? He wants you around certain people so you can tell them, hey, let me tell you about this man that I know. You know what I'm saying? His name is Jesus Christ. So that's all I'm saying. That's what it means when he says, when they say elevation requires separation. You have common sense to know what you need to separate from. It's not a secret. You know what you need to separate from. That's all it means. And once you have the willpower to let that go, then you will go to the next level. That's it. That's all, y'all. And you have to have tunnel vision. You have to stay focused. You have to understand that you can't be talking about people. That's one of the main things. You can't talk about people during your elevation. And once you get so used to not talking about people, then it becomes easy for you. It becomes easy for you to say something. Like last night I was having a conversation with somebody, and they wanted to talk about this certain girl. She just, she thinks she did, she thinks she did. And I'm like, no, she's just blessed. You know what I'm saying? She has a strong prayer life. Obviously, she's anointed. Like, I'm not finna talk about this person with you just so you can get some pleasure out of making yourself feel better because you're miserable. No, I'm not doing it no more. I'm just gonna flip the thing. No, she's blessed. You should be happy. You should be asking her, hey, what you doing? I want to learn how to do that. What kind of prayer life you got? What you praying? Who you praying to, or what you praying for? How you get that glow? How you stay happy like that? Even when you have bad days, you still have that peace and you have faith enough to know God got me. How you do that? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's all I want to talk about. I have to get to work, guys. But don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share my video. Peace out.